Good morning, I'm Trinity Chavez. It is Thursday, November 16th, and you are watching NYSE TV Live. We are coming to you from the New York Stock Exchange, the epicenter of the global financial markets on the corner of Wall and Broad Streets in Lower Manhattan. Today, we are celebrating one of NYSE's newest additions, Hamilton Insurance Group, as the firm gets set to ring the opening bell. Now, to honor the occasion, we also have Hamilton Insurance Group's branding all over this iconic institution, from the cubes behind me above the trading floor to its banner streamed across the facade of the NYSE. Now, the company's CEO, Pina Albo, will also ring the opening bell and open up the U.S. equity markets. Hamilton is already trading on the New York Stock Exchange, making its debut last Friday under the ticker symbol HG. Pina Albo and Group CFO, Craig Howey, rang that first trade bell you're seeing right there minutes after officially going public. And we'll be speaking with both of them later on in the program. You won't want to miss that. But there's a lot more to get to and learn about this company. Hamilton is a global specialty insurance and reinsurance company founded in Bermuda in 2013, focusing on underwriting expertise enhanced by data and technology. And the company says it intends to keep growing its diverse book of business by responding to changing market conditions. And they're not kidding. Some of its specialty products include kidnap and ransom insurance, treaty insurance, and space insurance. Many people know Bermuda as a popular tourist destination and its beautiful pink beaches, but people in finance know the country as something else, the world's risk capital. The country's risk management industry began to soar in the 1960s with the development of the captive concept, a wholly owned subsidiary created to provide insurance to non-insurance parent company or companies. According to Bermuda Business Development Agency, 15 of the top 40 global reinsurances are based in the country. Hamilton Insurance Group is one of over 100 companies in the country to achieve a financial strength rating, earning A- rating from AM Best in 2022 and an A rating from KBRA in 2021. And again, to commemorate this moment, we will see Hamilton Insurance Group CEO Pina Albo presented with the NYSE Medallion FTB gavel alongside the listing certificate today. But first, I am going to toss it to the boardroom, where our president of the NYSE, Lynn Martin, will continue our live coverage, speaking to the whole executive team there, and then we will meet you back here in the studio. Let's take a listen.
How good does that banner look? Congratulations, everyone. It is my honor to welcome you all to the New York Stock Exchange. My name is Lynn Martin. I am the president of the New York Stock Exchange. So it is my honor to celebrate Hamilton here today. I was just saying to Pina, this is a great way to do an IPO, and that you had the run up to getting the deal done, to pricing, and then you actually had a minute to sleep after your stock opened, and now you are here to celebrate and bring a tremendous amount of energy to the floor this morning. When I think about your history, when I learned about your history in the last 5 years, you have really made some incredible strategic moves and strategic pivots. It's why you've been able to more than triple the amount of premiums you've collected in those 5 years, and the public markets are now ready to welcome you, to celebrate your success, and more importantly, celebrate what the next 5 years and beyond are going to look like for your company. It's our honor to welcome you to our 2,400, our group of 2,400 of the greatest companies in the world, and you guys clearly exemplify that. Entrepreneurs, innovators, people who look to raise capital to truly change the world and change the way that business is done. And I know with your 500 employees, based all around the world, but also clearly headquartered in Bermuda, I know you all are set up to continue to achieve new heights. So with that, I'm going to call someone who needs no introduction to the stage, the first female chair of the Association of Bermuda Insurers and Reinsurers, and the first female CEO to lead an IPO of an insurance company in 20 years. Pina, come on up.
I said in a post on LinkedIn that it takes a village, so I need my immediate village, my executive team here behind me, because this did not get done without this group of individuals. Lynn, first, thank you so much. So please, if you guys could gather up here, that'd be great. Thanks so much for welcoming us, for hosting us today. Your team's been phenomenal, actually, absolutely phenomenal. This is such a special day for us because it's been 10 years in the making. The last 5 years were particularly transformative, but it's been 10 years in the making, and that's why I'm just so happy that there's so many people with us today. We have members of our board here. You know, we have some of the first employees at Hamilton. We have representatives of Hamilton from around our group here today. We have friends and family that we have neglected way too long. All of us, and we also have a 500 strong, audience that are viewing this from their from offices around the world and from their desktops. And again, I could not have done this without an absolutely knocks it out of the park every single day executive management team. I am humbled to be part of this crowd, and I'm so thankful and grateful that I was given the opportunity to lead this company. You guys are a great, very special bunch, and it's been a pleasure every minute. From here, I think we get to go downstairs and do something special. You're going to tell us about that? All right. I know, I can't, I got a gavel. And ever since I got that gavel, I haven't been able to put it down, so I'm excited about that. But thank you all for joining us today. This means so much for us to have so many people in this room. Watch out for the next 5 years, though.
Before we head downstairs, we got a couple of traditions. We are 231 years old, and you don't turn 231 years old without having a variety of traditions. So first, I want to present you, Pina, and your management team with your original listing certificate. So please come on over. Hopefully, this will hang proudly in your headquarters and remind you of all the hard work that you've done over the 10 years, most intensely the last 5 years, and of, more importantly, the future to come.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So much.
And then last but certainly not least, Pina, come with me. Every morning we strike a medallion for our bell ringer. And it is our honor to present you with that medallion. On the front of the medallions are 6 pillars, which stand for a variety of things, but importantly, they stand for access to free markets around the globe. And on the back is the buttonwood tree. We were founded under a buttonwood tree 231 years ago, and this reminds us of our roots, but also our commitment to sustainability. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Importantly, one of our traditions is no one goes away empty-handed, so you all will receive a slightly smaller medallion to remind you of your hard work. It's kind of your good luck charm to motivate you for the next 5 years and beyond. We could pick those up on the way downstairs. So now we're going to head on down to the floor to open the market. I'll be doing so in my proud turquoise. Yes. You notice? And Pina and I will open the markets. I'm going to quickly turn it back to our webcast host, and then I'll give you all instructions in the room. So back to you.
Now again, we just heard from NYSE President Lynn Martin along with Pina Albo, who is Hamilton Insurance Group CEO, and she was saying how she is so grateful for this opportunity, how it truly takes a village. And she was saying that this has been a process of 10 years in the making to get to this day, hugely significant, really achieving a huge milestone today as they get ready to open up the U.S. equity markets. And she was saying how members of the board are here, friends, family, over 500 employees from around the world right now are tuning in. All of you who are tuning in played an integral role in getting to where Hamilton is today. Now officially a part of the NYSE community, the NYSE family of over 2,400 listed companies here at the NYSE, the epicenter of the global financial markets. And we are capturing this historic day for you today. Now, over 231 years, we have established a lot of traditions, from the listing ceremony to the bell opening, and I want to give you all a little history of this iconic institution. The New York Stock Exchange, or NYSE, traces its roots back to 1792, when a group of traders gathered beneath the buttonwood tree on Wall Street. They formed an agreement, now known as the Buttonwood Agreement, to create a centralized marketplace for buying and selling stocks and bonds. Little did they know that this humble beginning would lay the foundation for one of the world's largest stock exchanges. Fast forward 231 years, we have over 2,400 listed companies, and the NYSE has around $40 trillion in total market cap. The exchange has become synonymous with corporate giants, and it hosts some of the most recognizable names like Coca-Cola, IBM, and Disney, offering investors the opportunity to invest in well-established, trusted companies. But beyond its role in liquidity, it plays so much more of an important role. The NYSE also plays a critical role in providing liquidity to the market. It refers to the ease of buying and selling stocks. Now, the exchange provides a centralized platform where buyers and sellers can meet. And what sets us apart from any other exchange in the world is the fact that we have a specialized trader known as the designated market maker, who is an invaluable resource for your company on the floor of the NYSE. Now, elsewhere on Wall Street, the major indices are surging after some favorable economic information that came out this week. One day after the Dow jumped nearly 500 points, the index gained more than 160 points during Wednesday's session. The October Producer Price Index, which measures wholesale prices, fell by 0.5%, its biggest monthly drop since April 2020. Now, the big catalyst so far this week was the release of October CPI data, or Consumer Price Index, on Tuesday. The index rose about 3.2% over the past 12 months, down from 3.7% in September, and marking the lowest annual rate since March 2021. The next big event investors are watching closely: if lawmakers can avoid a government shutdown by Friday. Now, on Tuesday, the House passed a stopgap bill which would provide funding through the start of the new year, and the Senate still needs to approve the stopgap spending bill, and if that passes both chambers of Congress, and the bill gets sent to the president's desk to sign into law. Switching gears a little bit, Hamilton Insurance Group raised $225 million in its IPO. However, there is more than one way to make it to the New York Stock Exchange. Let's take a look. Going public. It's a huge milestone for a company that represents years of labor, efforts, and love from the company's founders, early employees, and investors. When you join the NYSE community of over 2,400 listed companies, you're equipped with the right tools to meet market demand, attract investors, and continue a trajectory for growth. And there's more than one way you could go public. In 2018, Spotify was our first company to go public via NYSE direct listing. Since then, companies of all sizes, from Roblox to ZipRecruiter, have taken advantage of this new way of listing on the largest equities exchange in the world. The New York Stock Exchange direct floor listing started off as an idea between the Spotify executive team and the NYSE management team. Together, they wanted to harness new ways to pursue going public. This kicked off a years-long process with regulators, bankers, and so much more. The story is captured in Insider Chief Finance Correspondent Dakin Campbell's book, Going Public. He spoke with Inside the Ice House's Josh King last year.
Yeah, so here's where the NYSE comes into the story. It's October 2016. McCarthy has moved from Stockholm back to New York City, and then he gets the then NYSE president, Tom Farley. What goes down at that meeting between Barry and Tom, and what does Farley do next?
He goes down the elevator and walks out onto the street. You know, he calls his boss, Jeff Sprecher, and he says, "Jeff, you'll never believe this meeting I just had. You know, Spotify wants to directly list their shares. They want to cut out the investment banks." You know, Sprecher, who's been around a long time, says like, oh, that sounds interesting, but I bet the banks will be involved. Spotify will need them in many other realms of the financial markets than just an IPO, and will eventually have to kick in the banks.
But what's the difference? A few key factors.
In a nutshell, direct listing provides a way for companies to go public without a traditional underwritten offering or an issuance of new shares to the public.
Now, without the book building process, how is the reference price set?
Sure. So the reference price is really based on conversations that the New York Stock Exchange has with the financial advisors that are working on the transaction, and that's disclosed to the marketplace on the day before the listing day of the transaction. I think one of the benefits of the direct listing is that there really is no difference. Once the company is public, it's public just like any other public issuer, has the same regulatory and reporting requirements. The main difference is just the fact that, unlike an IPO, there is no underwriter, so there's no stabilization activity in the aftermarket, and there's no underwriter that's been providing any other type of service. Very similar to a direct listing, the direct listing plus primary raise really just allows an issuer to sell shares itself, or primary shares, in the opening auction instead of or in addition to the selling shares that are being sold by the selling stakeholders. I would say that it's another option that issuers have as they consider other alternatives of being able to actually access the public markets, whether that's SPACs, IPOs, or a direct listing.
No two companies are the same. Each will have its own unique, exciting story about the process of going public. And now, thanks to the innovation inside the New York Stock Exchange, there are now many ways to get you on this podium. Now the executive team has made their way down to the trading floor from the 6th floor. They are gathering right now around the distinguished guest book, where they're going to etch their names next to the long list of leaders, thought leaders, entrepreneurs, celebrities who have signed their name in that very book right before they head up to the opening bell to open up the U.S. equity markets. And we're going to capture all of that for you when we head down to the floor for Hamilton's big moment, again with the CEO, Pina Albo, ringing that opening bell. But first, earlier this year, ICE co-hosted the annual Climate and Capital Conference here at the New York Stock Exchange. Here are some highlights.
It was fantastic to be here at New York Stock Exchange and be discussing sustainability. Who would have thought this would be possible 10 years ago?
There is a voluntary carbon market that is trying to form. So you're having all this demand pile up for people who want to do something good for the planet.
Adaptation, that's going to be an important element to our success in living in a world where we've impacted the natural environment so much.
We've really begun to arrive in terms of helping people make sense of the data. The problem is not the existence of data. We have more than enough data. We don't know what to do with the data.
Lots of people know something about climate change, but it's scattered, it's unorganized. Instead of having a little sustainability office as part of the company, it needs to pretty quickly become a systemic awareness.
95% of the world's emissions are not priced at an appropriate level to incentivize decarbonization.
We need to do more than just think about removing, but also using carbon credits as part of the net zero transition.
How do we get people and companies to compensate for the emissions that they're releasing into the atmosphere? Right now, it's free.
We have the tools available to address the market failures. They're just not being used by enough people.
Innovation is a key component of how we're going to solve this problem.
There is a desperate need for capital reallocation, particularly to Africa, that currently only attracts 2.5% of all green energy investments.
I care about institutions getting serious about doing this and finding the mechanisms and frameworks through which make it a part of everyday business, everyday life.
You have regulation around data and analytics, which are going to be important tools for all market participants to use in reaching their own goals.
What the planet really cares about is that there's fewer tons of CO2 in the atmosphere.
We certainly can work and aspire to a common future of a 1.5 degree.
We're not going to solve climate change. We're not going to go back to the way it was. But we can live well if we become resilient, if we pay attention, if we make relationships with each other. And so moving away from we're just going to solve it and it's going to be over to let's figure out how to live in this way, I think can be great.
All right, we are now on the trading floor. Again, this is an active trading floor. And look at everyone that's gathered behind me. Again, like hundreds of, seeing there. just a little preview. We're going to be much louder, right, when we open up the markets, right? Yeah? Okay. So again, this is just a little preview. They're going to be much louder when we actually ring the opening bell, open up the U.S. equity markets. But again, this is dozens of the friends, families, colleagues of Hamilton here today to commemorate this moment. And actually, look at this. This is my colleague, Laura Diorio. She spearheads all the social here at the NYSE. Good morning, Laura. What a great day.
Good morning. You know it's my favorite part of the day when we get to celebrate with all these amazing family and friends, colleagues, celebrating this great moment listing on the New York Stock Exchange. I was actually here last week when Hamilton rang the first trade bell. It was a smaller group. It was a more intimate, wonderful moment. You can find that video on all of our channels at NYSE. LinkedIn loved it too. They were so excited because our CEO is the most energetic, effervescent. She comes in here with her pops of color. I love when the whole team dresses up accordingly. So yeah, this is my favorite part of the day.
No, I know, and I actually was there too. They were with Cassandra Sire, Paula, members of our capital markets team who have been an integral role in leading up to this big day. And so it's always fun, especially when we have such a dynamic crowd behind us, that they're going to be a part of ringing the opening bell. And we're capturing it all for them. But give everybody a little preview about what's happening on social today and what you've been covering this week.
Well, yeah, so if you're watching this, you are in a variety of our platforms. We're at NYSE on LinkedIn, Twitter. You might see us on YouTube. You might see us through the company's page. And so we're putting out content across platform. I'll be supporting Hamilton all day. But also, you know what? I got to gear up for the season of giving. It's Thanksgiving. It's National Entrepreneurs Day is next week. Fun fact. I've got a lot of stuff rolling out there, so I'm really excited. You got to follow to find it. And then we've got our NYSE tree lighting. So I've been very busy.
I mean, I think we all have. All of the team here has been gearing up for the NYSE Christmas tree lighting. It's the biggest one that we've had, 100 years. We didn't even rehearse that. It was pretty good. 100 years that we're celebrating here at the New York Exchange, having the Christmas tree. We were actually talking about how tall it is and everything.
Yeah. 81 feet. Thank you. And if you want to come see it, if you're in New York, it's November 30th, 3 to 6. Corner of Wall and Broad. We've got vendors, we've got listed companies, we've got amazing brands with us and performances all day. So it'll be a ton of fun. But yeah, I got to get, everybody on social really excited for that.
I mean, it's going to be definitely an exciting day. And it was such a huge turnout last year. Yeah. And we got to, a lot of our listed companies that were participating, it was such an iconic day. Again, this year is going to be 100 years, so a lot to celebrate. But first, as the team is making their way up to the Bell podium, they were passing the wall, the wall signing. I mean, you've done a lot of fun things with social, highlighting this wall. So.
Hi! They just got up to the podium, so it's a super exciting moment. But yeah, when they go up the stairs to the podium, all folks get to sign the wall after they open or close the markets. These panels, it's a very exclusive moment where folks can etch their name in the history of New York Stock Exchange. Then people ask all the time, so we're on the trading floor, right? But there's this whole stairwell, so these panels rotate up the stairwell for years and years. These panels get filled up with people's names, so it's really exciting to welcome them here.
And we literally have to replace the wall, the panels every night. Oh my God, because so many people come in this store. And we're talking about celebrities, entrepreneurs, thought leaders. I mean, we've had Serena Williams here. We have, what are some of your memorable moments with the celebrities who have come through these doors?
Oh my goodness. One of my favorites always will be Giannis Antetokounmpo and his brothers coming in with Calamos ETFs. It was one of the most exciting days I've ever had here. I practiced my Greek leading up to it. And
give us a little preview. Do you have any do it now?
No, absolutely not. I said I was practicing then, not now. But we have 1 minute, I think. But that day was so wonderful. Because you're bringing together these amazing athletes and the future of their business, celebrating entrepreneurship all the way through listing this ETF on the New York Stock Exchange. So,
and of course
it all happens.
Of course, you're here every step of the way, capturing these moments on our social media platform.
Yeah, I have the best job in the world.
Best job.
Maybe
best job.
Second to yours, but we're tight.
Well, this is why we have you on all the time.
I have to hype this crowd up, Trinity.
All right, she has a job to do.
I'll see you guys.
All right, again, we are about 15 seconds out from opening up the U.S. equity markets. Again, the crowd is going to erupt with excitement. They're gathered right out front of the CNBC set. We're going to disrupt their morning broadcast a little bit, but don't tell them I said anything. We're going to listen in now, and then we'll be right back. right, this is what I just found on the trading floor because hats were flying down here as we got very excited now that the U.S. equity markets are officially open. I mean, you guys did a really great job with the chair. You did. So, again, we're going to continue the celebration later on, but I want to tell you that, again, this is an active trading floor, so you're going to be seeing traders zip past us at any point in time, again, you know, as the markets are open, and they were placing in the orders overnight as they were getting ready for the U.S. equity markets to open up. And so, again, we're going to speak to members of the executive team, but they're on the Bell podium right now with the in-house photography team capturing every iconic moment of this day. They're going to make their way down the the secret staircase, and then I'm going to speak to the CEO and then other members of the executive team. But first, we're going to take a look at a message from our parent company, ICE.
Connecting to opportunity is just part of the hustle.
Opportunity is using data to create a competitive advantage.
It's raising capital to help companies change the world.
It's making complicated financial concepts seem simple.
Opportunity is making the dream of home ownership a reality.
Writing new rules and redefining the game.
And driving the world forward to a greener energy future.
Opportunity is setting a goal
and charting a course to get there.
Sometimes the only thing standing between you and opportunity is someone who can make the connection.
At ICE, we connect people to opportunity.
Now that the markets are officially open, it only seems fitting that we get a market update from one of our traders here on the floor. This is Jonathan Corpina. He's the Senior Managing Partner at Meridian Equity Partners. Good morning, Jonathan.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are investors looking at today? What's the market doing now that it's officially open?
Right, so you look at what the market has done over the last 15 days that we've seen market run straight up, 11 of those 15 days. We're waiting for some catalyst that'll cause this market to pause and maybe pull back a little bit. We're going to get comments out of the Fed today from different speakers at different conventions. We've gotten economic data that's helped us move higher and higher all week. But I think at this point, what we're looking for is a pause in our markets so we can kind of take a deep breath and see which way we're going to move from here. I think we've moved too far too fast, albeit we like to see all the green and the positiveness of it, but we've moved too far too fast, and I think right now we might see a little pullback, hitting a few technical levels that will cause just a little pause in our markets.
Now, you said that you're waiting for like a big catalyst, but let's talk about earnings. Obviously, that can move markets. How has it impacted the market so far? What have you been seeing?
Yeah, so normally earnings, can act as a buoy to our markets, but I think what we're seeing now, and rightfully so, is it's not really the earnings reports, it's more of the outlook, the forecast moving forward. We're moving into an area of uncharted waters with interest rates, geopolitical issues. So all of the earnings calls that we listen to, all these earnings reports, they're all forecasting weaker supply, weaker demand, be harder to navigate with interest rates where they are moving forward. So I think overall earnings have been somewhat positive. It's just the forecast moving forward that's put a little bit of a gray cloud on top of things. But overall, as that has occurred, our market continues to move higher and higher.
Can you tell me about the indices, what was driving Tuesday's earnings report?
Yeah, I think overall we've seen resistance levels in our market get broken through in a very short period of time, whether you're looking at S&P, whether you're looking at VIX on the downside. And once that occurs, you get somewhat of a breakout. We've seen that occur. We've seen the S&P trade at levels over the last 20 sessions that have moved significantly. I think what we're going to have to see now is just a little bit of this pause. We saw a little bit of it yesterday. We're seeing a slight pullback today, but nothing of any real significance. So I think today might be a good day to everyone take a deep breath.
And how do you think we'll end the year? I mean, the new year is only a month away. So, I mean, what do you think we're looking at?
Yeah, maybe we got our Santa Claus rally a little early this year. We're still going to have a lot of information, a lot of unknown headlines, a lot of geopolitical risk that continues to be out there that won't subside by the end of the year, but will still circulate. So I think we're going to get to a level here where our market's going to trade in a kind of a tight range at these upper levels of the band that we're seeing. And then we're going to get into 2024. looking way forward, right? 2024 is an election cycle. We're going to start having more of those headlines come up and have more of an impact in our markets. So a lot to look forward to heading into the end of the year and the beginning of next year.
Now, you bring up a good point. Seeing how next year is an election cycle, what advice would you have for investors?
Yeah, so you could go back and look historically of how markets have performed over those election cycles, and then you can go back to the last few elections as far as what polls were predicting and correlating that to the markets. They haven't always been right. I think it's too early to tell where this is going to go at this point. We've got both parties that are really vying for positions. There's no real clear front runner in any aspect of this now, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of jockeying for position as we've seen over the last few days. But the overall impact on that market, it's going to take a little bit of time for us to get through all of that. Again, once we get towards the end of this year and get into a new cycle, we'll get some more money that's been on the sidelines coming off the sidelines. You see the returns in the markets that we've seen in a short period of time. Might see a little bit of people playing catch up towards the end of the year, but these headlines that continue to be out there, right? We see President Biden with his conference with Xi last night. We continue to see what's going on in Israel, Russia, Ukraine. All these things continue to be out there. Throw Taiwan into the mix. I think there is some headwinds that we're going to see.
Great. Well, a lot of important information there. Thank you so much, Jonathan. I'll let you get back to work.
Thanks. Have a great day.
Okay, see you later. All right, now we're going to take a quick break and take a look at ICE's message and how they are embarking on sustainable and ESG efforts. We'll be right back.
If we can limit global warming, we can reduce the impact of climate change. To do this, we need to reach net zero emissions. ICE brought price transparency to energy markets and was a first mover in environmental markets. Today, our data and technology is at the heart of the world's most important energy transition. ICE's carbon allowances and credits incentivize cost-efficient emission reductions and removals. Now, we offer a primary market for carbon credits. Developers who design and operate projects can sell their credits in an auction. The auctions are held on WebICE with robust legal governance. Buyers can access a range of developers and a one-stop shop for carbon credits. Developers can access a large pool of buyers and price transparency. ICE plans to begin carbon credit auctions for Green Trees LLC, who are a global leader in reforestation. Green Trees and its landowners have planted over 50 million trees in North America and aim to plant an additional 100 million trees by 2030. Connect to a more sustainable future. ICE Carbon Credit Auction Service.
I am now joined with the CEO of Hamilton Insurance Group, Pina Albo. Omi, this has been such an exciting week.
It is incredible. I cannot tell you the exhilaration that we're all feeling right now. It's amazing.
Tell me about how you felt on that bell podium. You were just here last week doing the first trade bell. That's when we first were talking. Now you're here opening up the U.S. equity market, celebrating this iconic day.
You know, today's even more special because today we got to invite, friends, family, staff, board members, and our entire organization around the world is watching. It's just much more special today.
Now tell me, your company's tagline is "In Good Company." What does that mean to you? What does it say about the team that you work with at Hamilton?
So the tagline is actually very meaningful because our message is that whether you are a customer, a client, a broker, an employee, or anybody we interact with, we want you to feel that you're in good company with Hamilton.
Would you say that that's what sets Hamilton apart from its competitors?
Very much so. We have a culture that I truly believe is second to none, and I'm very proud to be part of this organization.
Now, you really were the mastermind who engineered, the business transition, like with Hamilton. What was the thought process behind it? Talk to me about your strategy and what you hope to accomplish come the new year.
So when I took over 5 years ago, it was still very much in startup mode, but it was a great company. We just knew we wanted to position it to be a public company. So there's a little bit of work to do, but I can tell you it takes a village. And the village of Hamilton came together and transformed this company and gave us this day. So I'm just incredibly thankful to the village of Hamilton.
Yeah, speaking of the village of Hamilton, you have 500 employees who are tuning in from around the world on this iconic moment. What would you like to tell them?
I'd like to tell them, even though you're not here with us, you are so here with us. We could not have done this without everybody who's in this organization. We all did it, and thank you so much. We're all grateful. Thank you.
And thank you. So I will let you continue the celebration. Again, welcome to the NYSE family. I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Take care. All right, just after the break, we're going to speak with the CFO, but first let's take a look at another video from ICE and how it manages climate risk.
When you think of investment risk, do you consider climate risk? Changing weather patterns are impacting the way we live and the value of businesses, large and small. This can mean disruption to supply chains, changing demand for products, and shifting regulation. What does this mean for your business, your clients, and your investments? ICE offers data and markets that can provide critical insight. Manage your climate risk with ICE.
Okay, I am joined now with the CFO, Craig Howey. Congratulations on this day.
Thank you, Trinity.
I mean, it was great having you here last week, ringing the first trade bell. Now you've opened up the U.S. equity markets. I mean, what has been the most exciting bit of this journey?
So this journey is, the best part is I get to come back and work with Pina again. We're getting the band back together. We used to work together 12 years ago, and this was part of the journey for us. And this is a big first step for Hamilton, next step in our organization.
Why now? What would you say are your biggest goals for 2024?
Well, our goals are continued profitable growth for the organization, and we're in the best reinsurance market and insurance market that I've seen in my career, and I've been in this business for 34 years, so it's a perfect time for us to be a public company.
I know your company has actually tripled its gross premiums written over the last 5 years. What do you attribute the success to?
So it's a success for the entire team. You know, this entire team puts out an effort every single day to grow this book profitably across the organization. We've been able to do that, and we expect to have double-digit growth going forward to next year as well.
Amazing. Well, it obviously takes a hugely committed team to get to where you are today. Like I was telling Pina, 500 of your employees are watching from around the world. They're a part of the celebration. What would you like to tell them?
I'd like to tell this team that if we do everything together, just like we did this project, we will be able to continue on this profitable path for the organization. So thank you very much. Appreciate all the support that we have for this team. And our team, as you said, is over 500 employees. So it's phenomenal. Congratulations.
We wish you continued success. Thank you so much. I will speak to you soon.
Thank you. Bye now.
Well, that just about wraps it up. But before I let you go, I'm going to toss it to a video showcasing all of the exciting things that actually happens around the exchange. Take care.
Together, we built something truly beautiful in the true iconic notion of what America is all about.
This is our task, this is our mission. We have a clear focus, and we have the ability to be agile and innovate.
It takes years of dedication to get us to this milestone. It is all because of you.
Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. It is the only thing that ever has.
To be a woman leader, it's not so easy, but it's easy if the passion and the love is coming from your heart.
The New York Stock Exchange is the symbol of what America is all about. Potential of capitalism, the potential of an American dream.
The only way you can move a society forward is a true expression of freedom.